The long-awaited Viltrumite war that the series has been building towards finally starts after Nolan recruited Mark in the end of episode 4. When I saw Oliver packing his homework and games, I knew he was going to face death multiple times in this war. So for this last episode, I'll count how many times Oliver almost died. When the ship taking Alan, Mark, Oliver, and Tech Jacket to meet the coalition of planets gets attacked by the Viltrumites, this can only mean one thing: a rematch between Mark and Conquest. The rematch was easily the most brutal fight in Invincible, not because of the scale of the damage done to the planet this time, but because of the intention of both Mark and Conquest at the beginning of the fight. Unlike in the finale of season 3 where Conquest tried to talk to Mark about how he was feeling and Mark was desperately trying to survive, the goal for both of them was clear. One of us dies today and it ain't gonna be me. But before we get to that, the fight starts with Oliver immediately going after Conquest. Despite landing lots of hits, it probably felt like a bad day at the massage parlor to Conquest. Conquest then grabs Oliver's head with both his hands and began to crush his skull like a watermelon with a big smile on his face. For a second there, I thought it was GG's for Oliver, but Nolan came out of nowhere and rocked the shit out of Conquest. Death counter 1. Mark then goes to check on Oliver before flying straight to Conquest to run the 1v1. The rematch between Conquest and Mark starts after Conquest threatens Heave, and Mark lands several hits on Conquest as he gives him several elbow shots to his face. Oliver, still recovering from his fight with Conquest, gets his shit rocked by Lucan. Now, this is just bullying because bro was losing to Mark and went to pick on Oliver instead. But wait a minute. Oliver finally lands a clean, impactful hit on someone, and you know that shit hurt him too because he was ready to kill Oliver. Look at this. Bro was acting like he was about to pull out a gun or something. I thought it was GG's for Oliver. Psych! But Omni-Man saves him once again, taking the counter to 2. Nolan and Oliver then proceeds to jump Lucan and beat the living shit out of him. Allen and Tech Jacket are barely holding their own against Crad, as Allen starts taunting him because the odds were in their favor since it was a 5 vs 3. The Viltrumite brought extra help that were able to turn the tide of the battle in their favor. Now this really shows that the Viltrumite empire is on its last legs, as they had to hire people that they would consider inferior to them to aid them in their fights. Oliver, struggling to hold his breath in space for so long, flies down to a planet nearby to catch his breath, but just like a villain out of a horror movie, Conquest sees this and started tweaking and immediately goes after him with a smile on his face as Oliver was catching his breath. Conquest appeared behind him out of nowhere, and this was my reaction. Wow. GG's Oliver, you'll be missed. But out of nowhere. Blocked by James! As Invincible saves him out of nowhere. This takes the counter to 3. Now, I don't want to be that guy, but this nigga is trash. Oliver, please.
Bro, don't.
Mark grabs Conquest by his throat and tells him he's never breathing again, and he really meant that shit, as they proceed to fly around the planet, crashing into the ground multiple times. And still, Mark doesn't take his hand off his throat. Conquest lands multiple hits on Mark, and still, Mark doesn't take his hand off his throat. Nolan and Oliver try to come to the aid of Mark, but they keep flying around the planet at supersonic speed and crashing around, destroying the planet. Conquest continued punching Mark over and over, but still, Mark doesn't let up. Conquest tries to grab Mark's face, but Mark beats his finger off, and finally, Conquest realized that Mark won't stop strangling him, so he tried a different approach. Conquest punched straight through Mark's stomach, and still, Mark didn't stop strangling him. Conquest then starts removing every single one of his internal organs one after the other, and still, Mark did not let go. Conquest then decided, nigga, I ain't dying, we dying, as he proceeds to remove as many organs as he can until he took his last breath. If Mark survives this, he really is. Tech Jacket and Allen hide in the Viltrumite ship that is headed back home as Nolan and Oliver find a dying Mark asking for help as the episode ends. Like I said earlier, this is easily the most brutal fight in the entire series, as Omni-Man against the Guardians was just a massacre and there was only going to be one winner. Mark against his father wasn't really a fight at the end of season 1, and in the last season, Conquest was toying with Mark during their first fight. This second fight was totally different. I mean, look at Conquest. He legit died holding Mark's intestine like a teddy bear. I wonder how Oliver and Nolan are going to rearrange his guts back. At least now, as a fan of the show, Mark is finally winning more battles than he loses, and I'm very happy about that. But something is bothering me. If this is what it looks like in episode 5, what will happen in the season finale when he meets Trag? Because Conquest was shitting bricks at the sight of Trag. What the hell is going to happen to Mark? Well,
it is what it is. It is what it is.
As always, like and subscribe for more on Invincible Season 4. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.